Put your hands together for Old Men in Sweat. Old Men in Sweat. Put your hands together, y'all. Barry D, Tommy T. We gonna have a good time tonight. Let's go. It's Old Men in Sweat.
What happened with Caitlin Clark?
Well, I mean, she enters the league, and the entire WNBA like turned on her, and they all tried to say that she wasn't that good, and all the attention they were getting, they were trying to say it wasn't because of Caitlin Clark. You know,
Yeah.
Like the owner of the Washington Mystics, who has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark, she's just an owner. When Caitlin Clark got Athlete of the Year by Time Magazine or something, she said it's a horrible thing. She's not Athlete of the Year. I never heard of such a thing. And she tried to say that all of the women are Athletes of the Year. They're so fucking stupid. I hate it.
So why she obviously was the Athlete of the Year in that league.
Well, they picked her. No, the Time Magazine picked her as the Athlete of the Year in all sports because of what she accomplished in the face of all that bullshit adversity.
So tell me someone else that was more worthy of it. I can't pick anybody.
That's not even the point. The point is that they don't even want to acknowledge her. Her own people are saying, no, it's not Caitlin Clark. It's not Caitlin Clark. No, what? It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's why women's sports have been exposed. It's bullshit. Like, women's sports is bullshit. It's not even first of all, they suck. Like I've been telling you, when you watch like the women's basketball, it's like going to the YMCA and watching a bunch of 50-year-old men run up and down the court. They suck. Look, we got to stop. We got to stop saying, "Oh no, they're good shooters and they're good." Get the fuck out of here. They stink.
Remember when Cheryl Miller wasn't she the first one to dunk?
No, she wasn't the first one to dunk. She couldn't dunk.
Oh, who was the first one to dunk then?
It was a no-name person. Like it wasn't a famous person.
Was it one of the girls from Louisiana Tech?
No, I don't think so. It was the first person to dunk was a nobody.
Was it?
It was just some 6'7" woman that barely got over the rim.
Well, Shaq said once, I believe he said this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have swore I heard him say once that he thought they should lower the basket.
Yeah, I never heard that before, but yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I think he said they should lower the basket because it just, to make it a little better and a little, obviously easier to score and dunk and make it more exciting.
They should stop playing. They shouldn't even play. It's like I don't even Barry. When it's on TV, I just get rid of it. Like, look at it. They're on right now. They're terrible. I don't even want to watch it. They should just stop playing. I don't even care.
What are you going to put on? What do you got there? NFL Network?
Yeah, I got the Bills Kansas City game from last year, I think. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is a crazy competitor. Look at him. He's yelling at the referee. He's a fucking crazy competitor, that Mahomes.
Yeah, no, he's nuts. He's insane.
Yeah, he's nuts.
The guy's insane. But yeah, I know. I get you what you're talking about. It's. I don't watch any women's sports.
Listen. The thing is, are we supposed to be politically correct, or are we supposed to just speak honestly? Women's sports suck. I'm sorry. They fucking suck.
I think, unfortunately, you're supposed to be politically correct. There are some people in individual sports that are women that I really think are really fucking great athletes. Like there's that Lindsey Vonn when she was a skier. Like there's like skiing's not easy, and
she's incredible.
Like her, I'm thinking of sprinters or relay team people or the long jump, triple jump. But also I'm thinking of what was I thinking of? Individual tennis. Like, what's that one girl, that USA girl, the African American girl? She's really good. She's strong. She's tall.
Coco.
Yeah,
Coco Gauff. Yeah,
crazy. So like some of these girls, these individual sports, I like watching them. Like tennis, some of those girls are unbelievable athletes, and skiing and track and field and things like that. I think where I lose it for whatever reason, is the team sport. I lose it. I don't know. I watch and I'm like, okay, yeah.
They stink. They fucking. I'm sorry. That Gabby Reese or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Gabby, whatever. I don't know. She's terrible. She's fucking.
She went to LSU, right? Now she's in the.
She can't even dribble down the court, and they're trying to say she's a. It's like,
well,
and then
she actually said she was. I think she was the one who said
she's nasty.
How the salaries are ridiculous. She goes, I can't live on the salary, like as a pro basketball.
That's the other thing is they want more money.
Well, remember in history, remember back when the U.S. women's soccer team was going like gangbusters in the beginning, 1999 World Cup, when they really turned the corner. And remember, they tried to sue for more money. And what ended up happening was a couple girls, the one girl, Hope Solo, she stuck it out. And she's like, I'm not giving up. And they turned their back on her. They had a class action lawsuit, the whole team and all these other U.S. Women's Federation soccer players, and they were suing. They got more money, but it was a joke what they got. But she wanted to hold out, and they were supposed to all stick together to do this, kind of like a la like in show business how Friends. They all stuck together and said,
it ain't going to work. It never worked because we wouldn't care if they never played soccer again. Nobody cares.
Exactly. So
it wouldn't work.
Well, what happened?
Hold out.
I watched a documentary about her. She got hung out to dry, and they basically banned her from the sport and from that organization that you got to be part of to play the sport. And the other girls, like some of those girls that were really good, like the one that took the shirt off, that had the bra on, she had that penalty kick.
Yeah, that was Brandy Chastain.
Yeah, and who's the other girl that was a really good striker? She had dark hair.
Mia Hamm was the famous one.
Mia Hamm. They all left that Hope Solo out to dry. Because she was having some issues personally. So then they ended up
because behind the scenes she was the biggest asshole ever. Like she was an animal. Like no one liked her. I mean, and her life has been a disaster since she left soccer. She's gotten arrested, DUIs. She beat the crap out of her sister and her nephew. Like she's an animal.
Well, her upbringing was really bad. Like I don't think she even lived with her parents. She lived with some girl that she played soccer with. Like I don't know, in Washington State, I think they lived in Spokane, somewhere near Spokane. But the thing about that, they basically, when she started having that trouble, then they left her behind and they made their own deal, and their own deal didn't really do anything, So, but whatever. So what do you? Wait a minute, move over a bit so I can see you to your right.
Okay.
But what are you drinking? A power shake?
Yeah, I made a smoothie.
What's in it?
I got protein. I got collagen peptide powder. I got athletic green powder, and then I just got blueberries, cherries, and I got a scoop of peanut butter. It's good, really good. Yeah, it's like
athletic greens. How is that?
Oh, it's great. The AG1, they're great, man. I got that with the Andrew Lessman protein powder. You'll freaking love that. It's great.
So do you take the greens just separately too sometimes?
Yeah, I just put it in a water. I just fill it up with like a glass of water, mix it up, and just drink it down. It's really good.
And how often do you do that? 2 times a day?
No, I just do it once a day.
When's the best time to do the greens? Because I was going to get that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just do it like when I get up, or sometimes I do it before I go to work.
And then when do you do the protein? Put the protein powder and do that whole thing. Whatever.
I do it in the afternoon. Like I'm going to get ready for work here in a little while, so I have my smoothie now, and then when I go to work, I have dinner around 8 or 9 o'clock at work.
All right. So the protein shake are you trying to do it like after workout to replenish?
No, I never believed in that. Like I don't think it matters when you. First of all, my workout is only yoga in a boot camp now, so I don't even, I don't even do anything, I just do yoga. I did yoga yesterday. at 3:30, and tomorrow I got the boot camp at 1:00. So they're each an hour class. I got today off. I got Sunday off. I'll do Monday. I'll do another yoga class. Wednesday, I'll do another boot camp. I just go every other day.
Really?
So it doesn't even matter.
Into that athletic, the AG, right? Athletic, what do they call it? Athletic greens, it's called?
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of those things, like, are good. And I think they're especially good in the morning if this is the first thing in your body. Like, before I do anything in the morning, I have a big cold glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
And to get the system going, it's always
great.
It works. So I'm going to look into that. They deliver it, right? Like monthly?
Yeah, AG1, yeah.
I got to get it.
Yeah, you get that.
Because, sometimes you see the ads. And I'm like, I don't know. Does that work? And now you mentioned it, and I trust you. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get that. Because, there's so many things out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know if it works because I don't take any vitamin supplements. I don't like taking vitamins because they hurt my digestive system. I don't like digesting vitamins like I used to, right? I just put a couple of scoops of powder in my drink, and that's it. That's it. It's got
everything in it. So I'm going to get that because I've been wondering about it. There's a lot of advertisements now, and they flood you with advertisements, and you don't know what's what. So you have to ask people, and that's interesting that you have been thinking about the damn thing. And I'm like, I didn't know if to do it or not. So, all right. So look, let's that was a little good sidebar there. There was a debacle of women's sports, and then we got into health and nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to start real quick with the college basketball. I know we're premature because March Madness is another whole couple of months away. But I wanted to ask you because I keep reading about the NBA and the declining ratings of viewers, like 40% down and all this. And I want to ask you, with college hoops, I haven't really got into watching it yet, but should the NBA try to figure out something again? Because I remember you mentioned something that the problem is none of these guys coming out of college are names anymore, like how Jordan was or Magic and Bird. So should the NBA go back and try to do this thing that they got to stay? And the kids probably would stay.
They can't do it. They can't do it. It's gone. That's gone. College basketball in the 80s is gone because they make too much money in the NBA now. And even though they can make money in college, you can't. A good college player can't play college ball. Like a really good player at 18, 19, he can't play college ball. It would be the worst thing he did for his career. And I know like it was great when they played for Dean Smith and they played for Bobby Knight and Coach K. I know that. Like I know that back then, college basketball is all about the glorification of the coach. Like everything's about the coach. It's like come to play for Duke and play for Coach K and the system. That's long gone. The NBA is never going to have a famous guy enter the league like Patrick Ewing again or Chris Mullin or Pearl Washington. That's never going to happen. Where we watched those guys for 4 years every week, all winter long, and everyone knew those guys. That'll never happen again. That's gone.
So
and
the NIL money can't even help. That they
no,
can do 2 years. No,
because they make too much money in the NBA. And the other thing is, if your son is an awesome 17 or 18-year-old, you can't risk him getting hurt for the university. Like the university doesn't give a shit about these kids. It never did. So you can't have your kid go to the University of Kentucky and blow out his ACL his freshman year. And then, who knows if he makes it back. You can't have that. He's got to realize his potential in the NBA. They now have the G League where these guys are going, like this guy, Jalen Green for the Houston Rockets. He never played college ball. He went to the G League for a year. And then the Rockets drafted him top 5. Yeah, and he's a great player. Like nobody knows him. The only time I've watched him play is when they play the Lakers. He's good. He's really good. But no one knows him.
I get you. Okay, so I get you. I forgot about that. There's actually like a minor league now, ish.
Yeah, no. Even if there wasn't a minor league, you still can't play college ball. Like you just can't. It's not. And the other thing is, like nobody wants to be real about college ball. Like everybody our age. Like I talk to all my buddies, at work and everything. Everybody my age always talks about how college ball is so much better. They stink. Like the games are 52-50. I mean, you watch a March Madness game, and you'll get like Illinois, Chicago, versus North Carolina State, and with 2 minutes to go, the score's 53-53, and the announcers are acting like, what a riveting game, what an amazing game. They're terrible, and they always try to say that in college they play defense. No, they don't. Like, I watch college ball, they don't play any defense at all. They just can't make a shot. Like, nobody can score.
That's the weird thing. No one can shoot per se anymore. But I get what you're saying, because if you're that good, you don't want to go to college. You don't need to go to college. You can make more money in the pros. You can go to the G League, pop up to your team, whatever. And I get what you're saying. Because we forget how little amount of people are NBA players on this planet. Like,
I mean, when we were young, like, I didn't realize when we were young, like, we watched the ACC and the Big East and everything, and that was awesome. Like, we watched it, the Big Ten, and I remember, like, they would pick the All-American team, and I remember there was a couple guys on the All-American team. They were like great college players, like Kenny Skywalker from Kentucky, and then this other guy from Wake Forest named Rod Griffin. And like, they would pick they're amazing college players, and then the NBA draft come along. And then, like, they would get drafted in the first or second round, and they'd go to the NBA, and they'd suck. And I'd be like, how does this guy stink? Like, in college, he was amazing. He was amazing. And it's because, like, in college, the best players aren't any good. It's just not. It's like, for every Tim Duncan, that you have who's the great college player, you have, like dozens and dozens of Pearl Washingtons, and all these other guys that were like superstars in college, and they suck. So that college basketball is a thing of the past. Like, it is. It's done.
It's wild that you say that, and I guess you're right. It is, because do you think the whole issue or part of the issue with viewership, like the NBA's down, and even I bet you college is even down, even though everybody talks about how college is so much better, like football, basketball, but let's just say basketball. Do you think the viewership's down because the game, the product is so bad?
Yeah, well, the NBA game has changed so much, and nobody likes it. Everybody our age doesn't like the way it's changed. The style of ball, analytics and all this stuff supposedly changed the game. But it's like there's so many flagrant fouls. If you touch their head, there's a flagrant foul. It's just different than it was in the 80s and 90s. It's so different. So nobody likes the way the game has evolved. And then the other thing is, it's just like, the bottom line is they all make so much money. It's like, they're making 50 million, 60 million guaranteed for 4 years, and they're not even like the best players in the league. Like, you see all these guys like, Bradley Beal, he's due like 35 million. He doesn't like where he's playing. Jimmy Butler's making like 32 million. He doesn't like where he's playing. So now, with LeBron changing the NBA by creating his own teams, and I've always said LeBron's a way better general manager than the old white guys that were the general manager. Like I know everyone hates that, but LeBron built a great team in Miami. He built a great team in Cleveland. He built a good team. Like, he can build a team. So everyone hates that the players build a team. No one likes that. And then the other thing is, no one likes when a player doesn't like his team. Like Kevin Durant did a couple of years ago in Brooklyn, or Kyrie Irving's done. When they don't like their team, they're like, I don't want to play here no more. So it turned everybody off.
They don't like that they figured out they had the power.
Yeah, no one likes, like, it's a weird thing in our country. Like, I know our country is always going through, like, politically, it's always going through this thing where we're racist and everything. You like to think it's not a racist country, but I believe that people do not like young black men having the power that they have. No one likes that. No one likes that LeBron, has created incredible power. And, it doesn't bother me so much. I don't think LeBron has done anything bad. I think when he was done playing in Cleveland, he played for that owner in Cleveland that wasn't cool. And he said, I want to go to Miami. And he got Dwayne Wade to come. He got Bosh to come. He made the team, and they won. And then he was done in Miami after 4 years, and that was kind of weird. So he goes back to Cleveland, and he he has Kyrie there. He gets a couple other guys there, and they win again. So people hate that, and.
Well, what you said was, I'm going to get a little deeper here. We're not black, obviously. Like, we're white. We're Italian. We used to be considered dark. I mean, I remember my uncle when they first came over on the boat, and my uncle went to golf at some upstate New York country club, and they wouldn't let him golf. That's how dark he was. They thought you're dark. Get out of here. But I think the problem is, when you say a lot of owners, a lot of GMs are white. They're white. These white rich guys. And they like power. They're the power. And it's almost, I hate to say it, but it's like the plantation days. It's like, no. You work for me. You're the worker.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's the owners. I don't think it's the NBA people. I think it's the fans. I think it rubs the fans the wrong way. Really? I think the fans, I think the fans don't like the players running the league, because people have this perception that Michael Jordan didn't run anything. People's, the perception is that Jordan got drafted by the Bulls and just did what he was told.
That is hilarious.
But that's the perception. They feel like Jordan went to the Bulls and he was stuck on the Bulls and he made the Bulls a winner. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Jordan didn't have the power back then. Like maybe they didn't move around as much. I know that I know some of the good players. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He hated living in Milwaukee and he forced the trade. Players have always forced trades in NBA. If they don't like it, they don't want to stay, Let
me ask you this. So I'm a fan. You're a fan. Do you got a problem with it? I got no fucking problem.
No, I got no problem with it. I actually got more of a problem with the style of play. Yeah. Like I watch the games. Like I tell you this all the time. I watch the games and I see somebody break their guy off the dribble from 25 feet away. They break the guy down. They attack the basket. They get within 2 feet of the basket, and they kick it out to the three-point line, and then they'll pass it on a three-point line, and they'll get an open three-pointer. And I always say, even if you make the three-point shot, it's still a shitty play. Yeah. You're at the basket, like score. But the NBA style is so different. The Celtics, they want to shoot more three-pointers than everybody. Like that's their game plan.
Last night they played the Lakers. They got beat.
Yeah, well, the Lakers have beat them 3 times in a row. Last year, they beat them in Boston without LeBron and without AD, and they beat them by 20. So it's just one of those weird things. The Lakers have the Celtics number right now. But again, the Celtics, they couldn't make a three-pointer last night. And J.J. Redick took over the Lakers. J.J. Redick's career was, based on the three-point line. And he wants the Lakers to shoot more three-pointers. But they're not a good three-point shooting team. So it's hard for them. They just don't have that range. But the style of play in the NBA is not good. It's just
because it's either a three or people want to see a guy get posterized. But let me ask you, how many threes do the Celtics throw up in a game? Roughly? Well,
they're averaging like 35 a game or something like that. Some ridiculous more.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're averaging like almost half their shots are from three.
And if you had a choice, like say you were going to run a team like J.J. Redick, would you go for threes or big ball?
No, not big ball. I don't think
big ball, but a version of big ball. Would you rather have Anthony Davis at a 4 and another 5, and then LeBron and a shooter like Reeves and a point guard? Like, would you rather have that than another couple guys that can shoot a 3?
I don't know. I mean, defensively, I would want like the guys around the basket to stop, to block everything. Like, the Lakers a couple years ago, they had they had Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, they had Anthony Davis, they had LeBron. Like, you didn't get any layups off the Lakers when they won that championship in the pandemic year.
Yeah, no,
but really the what you need more than anything in the NBA is you need perimeter defenders. And that's why I think that the Celtics are still going to win, even though they're not playing great. I still think that they have the best group of perimeter defenders. I mean, they got Jaylen Brown, they got Tatum, they got Drew Holiday, who's an incredible perimeter defender. They got that guy Derek White. Yeah. And just so happens that they all can shoot threes. Yeah. So, I mean, the Celtics are not big. They're not big at all. I mean, Al Horford, he comes off the bench now. I don't even know. They got Porzingis, who's not a great interior defender. No. They're not a big team, but they're long. On the perimeter, they're long. They're built that way. So, they're hard to beat.
Who's that guard they got? He looks like he works at a bakery, a little short, pudgy guy.
Well, he's not really pudgy. That's Peyton Pritchard. He's in like incredible shape. Like he's not pudgy.
He looks like, I don't know, he looks odd to me.
Yeah, no, he looks odd because he's a little white guy. You know, he had a terrible game. He stunk last night against the Lakers. He was like 2 for 13. He's terrible.
So,
but
if you were Adam Silver and you're like, okay, I got to try to fix the game. It's the game. Let's not talk about the players with the power. Let's not talk about all. Let's talk about the product. How do you go backwards or forwards and fix the product?
You can't fix the style of play. Like that's impossible to fix. The style of play evolves. It evolves organically. You know, when the Lakers, if you watch the old Lakers Celtics tapes from the 80s when Magic played Bird in those great epic finals in the 80s, if you watch them play, the defense sagged into the lane. So they had 5 guys in the lane. One of the reasons is because all the offensive players were in the lane. You know, Celtics had Parrish and McHale in the lane. So they would all sag in the lane. And back then, if you made a 15-foot jump shot, that was considered an outside shot. I remember listening to the games, and Tommy Heinsohn was the CBS. He was a CBS guy, and he said the Celtics are going to need to hit a couple outside shots, and he meant like a 15-footer. Like he meant like Dennis Johnson hitting a shot at the junction in the foul line. That was an outside shot back then.
And now what is it?
Oh, now it's a 3-point shot. You know, now it's
23 feet.
Well, yes, 23 feet, but yeah, you know, so now that's an outside shot. Like there's no mid-range game anymore. There's just none. You know, nobody does. Nobody's gonna this shot's gone. You get the ball at the 3-point line. You pump fake. You get the guy in the air. You dribble 2 steps past him, and you pull up and take an 18-footer. That shot's gone.
Isn't that Jimmy Butler's game though?
Yeah, he's not a 3-point shooter.
Mid-range.
He's a mid-range guy, attack the basket guy. He's great. Like he's great at it. But that style of play is pretty much gone. Like no one does that. Jimmy Butler's an anomaly.
He is an anomaly, but why, if he's so great and he's had such a great career, Jimmy Butler, that's his game. Why aren't there other guys emulating him and wanting to be like him? So when they're practicing and they're playing, is it just the infatuation of the?
No, because you're going to get downgraded if you're coming up out of college, or if you're coming up and you're not a great 3-point shooter, but you're a great mid-range shooter. You're not a hot commodity.
That's so bad.
Yeah, it's just the way the game has evolved. So like what I was talking about the Lakers and Celtics in the 80s and the way they played, you know, the bad boys of the Pistons, the Bulls, you know, the Bulls had that great triangle offense. The bad boys were a bruising team. So the game moved that way in the 80s organically. It's sort of just the players were like they were bigger, you know, and it was slower.
So you're telling me it's got to organically move. It's not like we're going to get.
Yeah, it's not. There's no one particular guy doing it. Like there's no one controlling. No one has the controls.
And because you can't just take away the 3-point line.
No. I mean you could try to move it out or move it in or something, but then
the game would be even worse if you move it out. Right, the game would be even worse.
No, they would just be shooting it farther away. I mean, they're not good. Like that's the other thing is every time the Lakers get a 3-point shooter
like that, I just get so like my stomach starts churning because I just remember how great I used to love watching the game, and now I just get kind of bummed out. Like it's kind of sad. I can't. I have a hard time watching it too. It's just like I watched the Lakers offense. I mean, this is their 3rd or 4th coach. They had Vogel when they won the championship. They had Darvin Ham. Now they got JJ Redick. Each coach, I watch them, and I don't even know what kind of offense they're running. Like I'm like, what is their offense? I have no idea. I don't see any creative cutting to the basket. I don't know. I don't. There's no offense that's designed to get anybody open. You know, LeBron said it last week. They lost a tough game last week, and LeBron said, you know, we're stuck. We are who we are. He says we don't have anybody that commands a double team anymore. He said we don't have that. He said the other thing is we don't have any guys that can create their own shots anymore. So he said that we're kind of stuck. He said he admitted. He says we have small margin for error. Like what he was saying is we have to play near perfect basketball to win because they can't beat Detroit. They can't beat Houston, Oklahoma City. Not Detroit, Denver. They can't beat Denver. They can't beat the good teams because they don't have
the players, like Oklahoma City runs rings around them. They can't hang with them. You know, and LeBron said we have no margin for error. Like what they do to the Celtics right now, that's just one of those weird things where they got their number. Like they're not only beating the Celtics, they're killing the Celtics. 3 in a row, they're killing them.
I think AD's right. I think you're going to have to go a little bit big ball like they did in the pandemic days. You got to get another guy to get
The problem is they've been trying. There's no one out there. There's no other big guy. Like, who are they going to get?
What about that dude that's on the Wizards now that was on the Pelicans? That dude, Jonas, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Valanciunas. He's no good. What, you want to get some big white guy? I mean, he can't even jump over the paper. He's not good. You know, then they're talking about that guy Walker Kessler, the young guy from Utah. You know, who Utah wants a first-round draft pick for him. I watched him play. They're saying that if they had Kessler and AD down low, nobody would get to the rim. I guess. I mean, like if you want to get that guy Kessler, give up one of your first-round picks. But I don't see the big guy. If you get another big guy, you're not beating Oklahoma City.
Well, because you're right, because it still doesn't demand a double team.
Yeah, you're Oklahoma City. You're not. You got nobody to stop that SGA, that Gilgeous Alexander. He kills you. Yeah. No, the Lakers aren't good.
We're gonna move on because Father Tony wants to get in and talk. He wants to talk NFL, but and also wants to do the picks. But I wanted to ask you something. You got your phone on you?
Yeah.
I want you to dial this number. I texted you a number. Do you see my last text message to you? There's a number there. And I want you to dial that number and put it on speakerphone as loud as you can.
Okay.
And then then you'll hear the voicemail. Then I want you to leave a message. You see the number? It's 4 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
Put it on speakerphone. Put it really loud. I want you to call that. And as soon as you hear,
leave a message, America.
Is this really a message for Charles Barkley?
Yeah, it's a talk to him.
Hey, Charles, the round mound of rebound. We love you. Listen, I just want to say, you were wrong years ago when you said the Golden State Warriors can't win because they're a jump shooting team. You can win a championship when you're a jump shooting team. And also now you say the Lakers stink. It hurts, but you're right. We're Lakers fans.
And Charles, this is Barry D. So this is Old Men in Sweats, and I wanted to say that I'm really happy for you and your Auburn Tigers. I'm really, really happy for you. The War Eagle, I'm happy. They're number 1 in the country. And they still would be number 1 even if you were on the team eating pizzas every day. So we're going to call you every week. And sooner or later, you're going to call us back.
Okay, Charles. Good talking to you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, Charles.
Keep giving Shaq the business. That's you believe that? I think it's Charles. He listens to the messages, I think.
He doesn't listen to the messages.
No, he
You're
doesn't,
crazy.
because a couple times I left the messages. It's for their podcast, that Steam Room thing. And then I went to the website, and some people from Atlanta were on the website because I left a message. And I said, no. I was calling like weekly. And I don't know if they put my message on the show, but I just think it's hilarious to call him. How's his voicemail go? Hello, what's he say? Is Charles Barkley? What's he say?
It sounds like you. Hello, this is Charles Barkley. Leave a message. Okay, listen. I got to get into the coaching changes.
All right, so let's just go right into football. We'll get Father Tony in here, and then in the middle of that of the betting, we could talk to Father Tony about the coaching and stuff because he wants to talk about that. He's like primed into NFL now all the way. This guy. So I got to get him in here. Let me add him to the stage and add this and do this. Look at this stuff I got to do. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time here. Hang on, Tony. Let's see if we can get you in there. There he is. Can we hear you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
So
Father, how's it going, Father?
It's good. It's good.
So
How you guys
Father,
doing?
I know.
I missed
Father.
you. I missed you two guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened. You better wait a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hey.
Father, we know you've been a priest at some inner city churches with basketball courts in the back, blacktop, and you have probably been out there on the blacktop. So, did you hear us talk NBA? You must probably be pretty interested in that.
No,
Yeah,
he hates the NBA.
I was really interested in it. Yeah.
He hates
Father hates the NBA. I remember years ago I said the main reason that father is a hockey guy and not an NBA guy, and I told him this, is because there's nobody in hockey with the nickname Boogie. Because
that's only half true, T.
So, Father, who's your hockey team?
Huh?
the Florida Panthers. And I'll tell you one thing: when the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Panthers 2 years ago in the finals, I love that Panthers team. Like, they were a good team, and they won last year, right? I love that Panthers team is tough. The one guy, I forget his name. The one guy, Colasar, broke his chest, broke his sternum. Who's the guy that got his sternum broke against the Golden Knights?
Where's the sternum? Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's the guy? Who's the guy that got his sternum broke?
Wow, I should know that, shouldn't I?
They're their best players. They're one of their best players.
You're talking about Kachuk. You're talking about Barkleey.
Yeah, Kachuk.
Yeah.
Kachuk. Keegan Colasar checked him in one of the first or second game, and he fractured his sternum. And get this, Kachuk kept playing. He played like 2 more games with a broken sternum. And I like that coach. They got that French guy to coach. I like that Panthers team. When we beat the Panthers, we beat them 4-1, but that team was injured and they wouldn't give up. That's a good team.
Well,
You must be happy,
defense, right? Isn't their thing defense? They're a good D team, right? They're deep.
They're a good D team. They're a good scoring team. Let me tell you something. I've been watching them since 1993, their first year, and they used to be a dump and chase team. They dump the puck into the zone and chase it. And for the past 4 years, they're skating the puck in. They're passing. They're setting up plays. It's night and day. But let me say this about Kachuk getting the sternum broke and still playing. The first hockey game I ever saw was a Florida Panthers game where I was actually there. I mean, not first game I saw. First game when I was actually in the stadium. I think his name was Peter Squidlin. His last name is Squidlin. Took a puck to the face, and he's spitting out teeth and blood, and it's all over. He's a Panther. He was the captain of the Panthers, like their inaugural year. And he's spitting out blood, and he goes to the locker room. He comes back next period. Hockey players. You
know what they call that when the teeth come out? Spitting chiclets.
Chiclets, right? He was spitting them on the
no. So listen. So that's why Father Tony not a basketball fan, because of basketball you got Boogie Cousins, you got Pooh Richardson, you got Pookie. Like Father doesn't like that.
Full disclosure.
Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, full disclosure, okay? The reason I never got into basketball is because I had no skill for it. Every other game I played, as a kid, I had a little skill at baseball. I had a little skill at hockey. Basketball, I could never make it work. That's why I was just like, screw this game. But I'll tell you, once again, man, I don't watch it on TV, but you get me tickets to a basketball game. Yeah, I'm going. That's a lot of fun.
That's fun. Yeah.
I want to ask you guys something, because you two guys know this guy, and I want to know the truth about this guy. That Rob, Rocco, and supposedly he's a good hockey player. He's a little guy, Rocco. I don't think he's that big, and I want to know something. Like, so does Rocco got big legs and a big ass like a hockey player? And he's strong down low.
Yeah.
His game.
He's got big legs. Yeah, he's powerfully built, low. Yeah, he's low. But Father Tony went to some event. He went to a hockey game with Rocco years ago, and there was something where like they could do something with the stick, like behind the scenes, like they could shoot the puck. Yeah. And Father Tony said, "You got to see Rocco control the puck, right? Like he was snapping shots into the net, like past people, right? Yeah,
yeah. And the way they juggle it down the ice, he was like they threw the stick at him. He grabbed it, he started doing this stuff with the stick, and was manipulating the puck. I'm like, this guy, what?
Yeah,
he's a badass.
Yeah, Rocco started playing hockey up in New Hampshire, right? He went to college in New Hampshire. Boston first, right? And then he transferred. He went to college, and then he transferred somehow to San Diego State and played hockey at San Diego State, of all things.
Wow.
So where was his first stop? College?
Well, he played college in New Hampshire. He played a small college in New Hampshire. He's got a great story. He was partying during spring break or something, and he got arrested. He got arrested for and they charged him with inciting a riot. And somehow it worked out like it was a Friday, and it was a holiday coming up, and somehow it worked out that he got put in jail, but it wasn't in county jail. He ended up getting put into like a penitentiary, like Grafton. Like if you Google Grafton, he was put in the penitentiary for like 3 days. He was in prison. He tells this story where he was in prison for 3 days, like not like some small town New Hampshire county jail. There was something about paperwork or no judge or this, and they ended up driving him to Grafton in the middle of the night. They put him in a holding cell with like 10 other guys, and they clicked on the lights, and everyone's like, "Hey, what the hell's going on here? Who's in there?" And he had to go into bed. We got to get Rocco on to tell that story. He was in prison.
Yeah.
So was that his start of transferring to San Diego State? He was done with New Hampshire after that?
Yeah, he said that his father had to come up and pick him up in New Hampshire and drive him back to Boston. And when he tells the story, his father wouldn't speak to him.
His dad must have been, boom.
Oh my God! I mean, it's like I got to get him on here because it's the funniest story.
I tell you, that's probably one of the smartest moves I've ever heard, though, to go play hockey in San Diego. He probably was the best guy on the team, and the girls probably were like, "This guy, look at this guy from Boston.
Yeah,
this guy's great." It wasn't like he was going to be on the surf team or the rowing team. The guy goes to play hockey in San Diego. He probably was so good. He probably was a legend. Oh my God! You go to parties with that guy. You get
he was good, man. Really good.
So he does have the low body. You got to get the special.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is that the hockey players today, like they're not big. You know, like I mean, like the big guys on Vegas. You know, they will come into the casino. Like I know Keegan Colasar. Like he's a big guy. He's not that big. He's like 6'1", 6'2", like a solid 210, 220. They're not huge guys. Even the big guys are not huge.
No, but
you
their bottom portion is their power.
Well, yeah, because the skating. I mean, you got to have. Although Mark Stone's one of the best players on Golden Knights. I go to the charity softball game in the summer when the Knights play the Raiders. Yeah. Mark Stone's got a couple of bird legs.
What?
I mean, he's skinny.
How when you play hockey? It's like
he's skinny. He's great though. Yeah.
So Rocco, I always wondered about that because like sometimes I see online and he talks about hockey and you guys have said something about him. I'm like, I gotta ask more questions about this guy. And right off the bat, I bet he's got a big ass, a big hairy ass, and big fucking legs. Yeah. Like Robert Newhouse legs. He's got like Robert Newhouse legs and a big ass.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, we'll get Rocco on there. We'll talk about his ass. We'll get him on.
Guys in New Hampshire jail.
Get him up.
They're pretty scared of him.
So, Father Tony, we're going to let you kick off the betting weekend, right? We got 2 games left and before the Super Bowl. The first game is Washington at Philadelphia. Who do you like?
Well, we know.
What's that?
Who do you think I'm going with?
I know who he
Philly.
Well, you're not going to go. I was trying to think this past week. I was talking to some buddies, and I was trying to think. Like, you don't call them the Commanders and you don't call them the Redskins anymore because, you don't do that. I was trying to think, what does Father Tony call them? I couldn't think of it. Then it hit me. The Mamalukes. Yeah. The Washington Mamalukes.
Listen, I don't care.
Father, why do you hate them so much?
I think it was a punk move to cave to all the pressure with – you got to change the name. It's just a punk move, man. It was a total punk move. It was like a slap in the face to the fans. Let me tell you something. Real Native Americans see that as a tribute. They don't see it as something. They're not making fun of Native Americans. They're not trying to disparage Native Americans. It's a tribute to the Native Americans, all right? And the fact that they caved to all the pressure from all the whiny little, I don't know. What do you want?
In spirit, I agree with Father, but I do have to I do have to be transparent. If Father knows not one Native American his entire life. He's never even talked to a Native American. So I don't know how he knows that it doesn't bother them, but in spirit, I totally agree. I totally agree with him.
A Native American American to Father Tony's Italian.
He doesn't even know what a Native American is. You're a Native American. What? What's he talking about? Like his best friend sitting George. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, T? I did a focus group.
So, yeah, like Father Tony.
I love it. I love it that he's speaking explicitly for Native Americans. It doesn't bother them.
I'm speaking for most.
But like I said, I agree.
A percentage.
I agree 100% in spirit. Listen, it's a weird thing because the original owner of the Redskins is of some guy named Marshall, and he was a known racist, and and he might have named them the Redskins to be racist, to put people down. Who knows? I mean, he was the last guy to have a black guy on his team. He was one of those guys. Like he didn't, he wasn't, he didn't want to move forward with the times. So I mean, there's no proof of this, but he might have even come up with the name. Just who knows? I mean, but we grew up.
Okay.
Father Tony, the guy that the logo was modeled after, the American Indian, he actually has come out and said, "I've got no problem with this. It's a tribute." He said what you said. He goes, I think they should just bring it back. I don't think he's looking for any money. He's not going to get no money, but he's like, this is bullshit. He goes, I'm okay with it.
Well, why is it okay for the Chiefs? Why is it okay for the Seminoles? I guess because the Redskins is slang. The Redskins is a slang name, I guess, I mean, the Indians, they eliminated the Indians for Cleveland. They're the Guardians. And I guess those two are slang names, right? I mean, remember when we were growing up, Barry, in the Big East, it was the St. John's Redmen.
Yeah,
so that's gone. So I think the Braves, the Seminoles, the Chiefs, I guess that's not technically a slang that they're able to keep using that name.
Yeah, so
So
if you wanted to use an Italian as
listen, let me ask you guys this. If right now if the Giants, if the New York Dagos was playing this weekend against the Eagles, would we have a problem with the New York Dagos? Would that bother you? No. Okay, let me ask you, Barry D. How about if the New York Wops were playing this weekend? Would that bother anybody? No, I care.
And even if it was the New York Mix.
The New York Mix. It don't bother me, So, but I get it.
The New York olive skin.
Yeah.
Or the what did you say? Guinea charm. And oily hair, whatever. What do you say in Godfather?
The Guinea charm and that olive oil
voice.
Yeah, the olive oil voice. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
That olive oil voice.
Tony, we know who he's going to pick. But does he know what the line is, Tommy? Does he know what the line is?
Yeah, Father. Yeah, I guarantee you he's plugged in. What's the line, Father?
You know what? I didn't do my research before the show like I normally do.
Okay.
Right? Barry D sent me he said these are the guys that are playing. Yeah.
Okay, so the Eagles are giving the Mamalukes 6 points at kickoff, right? Now the weather's supposed to be good. It's a 3 p.m. Eastern time kickoff, right? So, the weather could turn late in the game. By 6 o'clock that night, the weather could get bad. But right now it's 40 degrees at kickoff. It's going to be in the 30s by the time the game's over. So my thought is, if the Mamalukes are trying to keep it close, because the Eagles are going to run the ball. Obviously, they're going to run the ball with Saquon. He's the best player in football right now by far. So they're going to get him the ball as many chances as they can. Hurts is injured. Hurts hurt his knee. He's going to have a brace. He's not going to run that much. He'll run a little bit, not much. But Philly's going to control the clock. So if the Mamalukes are going to be driving down the field late in the game, say they're down 10 or 15 points. If they're driving down the field late in the game to score a late touchdown, that touchdown is going to be to cover. I don't think they're going to win. I think it's going to be to cover. And what's going to happen is that slick ball at 5:30, 6 o'clock Philly time is going to mess up things. Like what's going to happen is that ball's going to slip through their hands. We watched last week's game. We watched the excellent tight end for the Ravens, right? Mark Andrews. He fumbled the ball on the 50-yard line. The guy just knocked it out of his hands, and then he dropped the 2-point conversion right in his hands. The ball was wet, cold, and slick. So these guys, they sometimes they struggle this time of year.
So Father Tony could take Philadelphia, but probably you don't want to take a -6. You would have to put a lot of money down on the money line. What would the money line be, Tommy, if you wanted to take Philly straight up?
Oh, the money line's going to be -240 or something. The money line's going to be crazy. But the thing is, though, you do. But Barry D, you do because. Well, first of all, Washington lost their starting guard. Cosme's out. Washington is they're not good. I mean, they got the quarterback, but they're not good. You know, they won a couple of big playoff games. Philly should dominate this game. I mean, the game, it should be total domination. Philly's got the better defense. They're healthier, you know, and they got Saquon. I mean, they're not going to – the Washington's not going to stop Saquon. There's no way. They're going to –
Would Father Tony's bet be pretty secure if he took the -6?
Yeah, I like Philly -6. I like them, yeah.
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that, but let me just say I appreciate all the analysis you guys are doing right now, back and forth with this, and the ball is going to be slick, and it's going to drop the ball, and they're going to run down the whatever clock. But I'm telling you, I just want to see the Mamalukes lose. All right, that's it. I don't care. I don't care about nothing. So here's the other thing. I'm gonna go a step further. I'm actually predicting Philly to take the whole thing.
Yeah, I like Philly to take the whole thing too. Yeah,
Philly to take the whole thing, and I want the Bills over the Chiefs.
Yeah, okay, now that's the game, Barry D. I don't know who you got, but so Father, you're picking the Bills to beat the Chiefs. This is a big one because to beat the Chiefs, you got to beat the refs.
Oh my God,
that's what I heard.
You got to beat the refs because I mean, right now, I mean, Mahomes. If you breathe on Mahomes, it's a personal foul. If you touch Mahomes, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Like, you can't touch him. So there's a lot of backlash right now with the referees protecting Mahomes. Mahomes has actually come out and said they're not protecting me. So I expect that game to be officiated a little more fairly than it's been. The other thing that people don't realize with the Chiefs, in the last two Super Bowls, the Chiefs had multiple holding penalties by the offensive line that were never called. Yes. Like they'll put you in a horse collar, they'll tackle you to the ground, and they let the play go on. So the Chiefs have had the advantage of the referees. They don't need it. They got the best quarterback in football. They don't need it, but that's the way it works out. Now here's my problem with the Bills. I want the Bills to win. I love the Bills this week, but the Bills coach will choke. McDermott will choke. He'll make some stupid call like he did a few years ago when they were kicking off with 13 seconds to go into the game with the lead, and he was afraid to squib kick it. Remember that? Like, all he had to do was squib kick it down the field. It would have bounced off of somebody. A few seconds would have gone off the clock. He wouldn't do that. He kicked it into the end zone. He gave him the ball in the 25, and he gave him 2 plays to tie the game with a field goal. He's a chicken. He always makes the bad decisions. So the Bills are not only playing against Mahomes and the referees, but they're playing against their own head coach.
Yeah, you're right. He does choke, and especially if it's a tight game, you got to hope the Bills jump out in some weird way because he will screw it up, that guy. And I still think the refs are going to do their business. They're going to give no holding calls on the offensive line of the Chiefs. They're going to let that one guy, that one tackle, he moves back. He's already back off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Extra advantage to get the guy coming around the end. I mean,
do you know the legal interpretation of that rule? It's a funny rule. So, you got the guys on the line of scrimmage, Father, right? And you got the 2 tackles. So the tackle, he has to be on the line of scrimmage. But what the writing in the rule says that his head has to cross the buttocks of the center. So, like, if there's an imaginary line from the tackle's head, it's got to cross the buttocks of the center. It's a weird interpretation of the rule, right? But that's it. So, like, if the referee's standing on the line and he's looking at the guy's head, and if the head is 3 inches behind the center's butt, it's supposed to be a penalty. And Barry's saying that it's always behind the center's butt, but they never get the penalty.
Who is the guy that does that, Tommy?
I think it's Trey Smith.
Yeah, and obviously, Father Tony, the reason he's doing that so when the ball is hiked, he's in a better position to block the guy coming at him because he's already back enough that he can do it.
Because the edge rusher is the speed rusher, so you want to have that extra half a second. So, Father Tony, we'll break down some minutia for you anytime you want.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It's like us drinking water. But,
it means a lot.
You like Philly. You're going to take Philly, Father Tony. He's going to take Philly minus the points.
He likes Buffalo.
Yeah, over here in the church, Sister Alexia, she's from Philly.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Sister Alexia, yeah.
That's all he's going to tell me. That's all he's going to tell us, Tom. Is Sister Alexia from Philly?
Yeah.
Well, that's all he knows about her. Listen, when we were in Catholic school, Barry D and I, we used to watch Sister Stella walk down the hall, and we could tell.
Yeah.
We could tell. Yeah. Even in the outfit, we knew.
Yeah, I think Father Tony's holding out on us about the more stories about the.
Yeah.
We won't go down there, But anyway, so Father Tony's going to take the Philadelphia Eagles minus 6.
I didn't know she's from Philly. Is she from outside of Philly, like Delaware area or something?
Delaware.
Yeah. But that's Philly. That's Philly territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Bills are plus what, 1.5?
Yeah, 2 points here. 2 points.
Yeah. 2 points. Now let's ask Tommy. I have a feeling you're going to take the Bills plus 2.
Yeah, I'm taking Kansas City and Philly. I'm just sticking with the favorites in this. I think it's going to be a repeat of the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I think it's going to be Kansas City, Philly. But I think I'm with Father Tony. The Philly's going to beat Kansas City this time. They're not going to lose to Kansas City this time. The only thing is Philly's got an Italian coach, Sirianni, who's the biggest chooch. He's the biggest chooch representative of our people. I can't stand him. He's the kind of Italian. I just want to punch him in the face. He's a chooch.
Yeah.
Well, Father Tony.
Right. Am I wrong, Father Tony?
You're right.
Yeah, right.
He wanted to fight the fans. He went over there.
He's an idiot. This guy. I don't even know how he got the job. He's terrible.
Come on, wait a minute. You don't know how he got a job in Philadelphia. Some wop in Philadelphia. They love him. They fucking love that guy.
This guy's he's such a tool. He tried to start a fight with the fans. He's yelling at the fans after the game. And then when he went to the post-game press conference, which he has to go to, he knew he screwed up. So what did he do? He brought his 2 kids into the press conference with him. He's got 2 little kids. So it was a buffer for the questions. What a tool. This guy.
Yeah.
Father Tony, is there anyone that you ever went to seminary school with or wherever you had to go to school, like any priest that was a pretty good athlete? Do you ever see a football player, some guy, some father that was just maybe an ex-athlete or something, he turned to the cloth, or any stories of anybody that was
you're thinking about this like a high school, Barry. Like we have a football team and a softball.
You're a team.
It's seminary school.
I think you're a team.
Yeah. No. Not in seminary school. No. Listen, when you get to you might have, aspirations to be in sports while you're in college and high school, but once you get to seminary school, you basically have given them up. You say, you know what, I'm the
other things.
You
give it up like other things, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, you do what you got to do. But you said, hey, I spent a lot of time on the bench. Forget about it. I'm going to be a priest.
Well, Father, there was a time in the NFL. There was a short period in the late '90s in the NFL where the best running back in football was Priest Holmes.
Yeah.
Remember Priest Holmes, Barry? Yeah. He scored 24, 25 touchdowns one year. His name was Priest Holmes. They named him the Priest.
And back in the day, there was a guy named Deacon.
Yeah, Deacon Jones. David Deacon Jones, yeah.
He kicked Tommy out of his house, Father Tony. Deacon.
Yeah, he's a legendary football player. He's a Hall of Fame football player. I was part of a writing team that went to his house to work on a football show. and he was going to be a host of the show, and he threw me out of his house because he was like telling all these stories, and I said, that's bullshit. That ain't true. Like,
Tommy,
Right to his face.
He was telling an entire story about Brett Favre getting sacked and how it was legitimate, and Michael Strahan came around and sacked him. And I said, that's bullshit. He took a dive. What are you talking about? And then he got mad at me, and then I said something about Dick Butkus. He said something about Dick Butkus, and I said, look, I mean, every time I see him on video, he's not hitting anyone that hard. And he said, get this guy out. Like, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Father Tony, he goes over the man's house, and then he insults him like in his kitchen.
I didn't mean to insult him, but Jesus, the guy was like not right. He was wrong.
And to circle back and there was something that happened about that story recently. Was Brett Favre was at some signing of memorabilia, and Mark Gastineau was there. And Mark Gastineau, there was a meeting, and Mark Gastineau goes, "I want that back. I want that sack back." And Brett Favre's like, "Oh, I don't know. Come on."
Yeah, give him context though, Barry. Like, Gastineau is the guy whose record was broken. Gastineau set the record in the early 80s, and then Michael Strahan broke it in the 2000s when Brett Favre took a dive. Like, Michael Strahan was one sack away from the record, and it was late in the game, and Brett Favre went back to pass, and Strahan came running, and Brett Favre went to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, he just dove to the ground. Like, Strahan didn't even touch him, but Strahan got credit for the sack, and so Gastineau lost the record. But Gastineau, he's so pathetic right now. It's like it's just sad and scary. I mean, he's whining to Brett Favre about a record, and Gastineau can barely put two words together. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Strahan's on Good Morning America. He's on the NFL show. Like Strahan made a lisp more profitable than anybody in the planet, right? I mean, it's just like –
and a teeth strap.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love Strahan. I mean, geez, right?
Father Tony, I always say Strahan looks like the Black Howdy Doody.
Yeah, oh, my God. No, I don't know about that.
All right, we're getting canceled.
Okay, listen. Okay, guys, it's coming up on 5, so listen, I got to run.
Let's just recap. Father Tony, tell me your picks again.
My picks, I'm going to take the Eagles over the Mamalukes. I'm also picking the Eagles to win the whole thing. I'm also taking the Bills over the Chiefs.
All right, Tommy T.
Yeah, I got the Eagles over the Mamalukes -6. I got KC over Buffalo -2, and then and Barry, you're gonna take the over in both games, but they're not going over.
I'm gonna go over in both games, and I'm gonna take the Bills because being a Viking fan, not winning the Super Bowl, I want the Bills to get there and choke again. Then
okay.
Have 5 losses, and I'll only still have 4. And then guess what I'm taking? I'm going completely against you guys. I'm going with Jaden Daniels. He looks. You guys ever know that guy, El DeBarge? He's a
yeah. We know El DeBarge. Yeah,
looks like him.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And that's the only reason.
El DeBarge. That's great. Okay.
El DeBarge. It's like you can get mistaken for El DeBarge easy. I'm going to take the Washington Mamalukes plus the 6 points. They're going to lose, but I think they're going to cover with El DeBarge.
We're gonna. This is an episode that we're going to get in trouble with. I mean, we covered Father and all of his Native American friends, and we covered the Mamalukes. We're going to get in trouble this one. We started out like with the stuff about the W.
Talking bad about women's sports before that.
I didn't know you recorded that. I thought we were just talking. All right. Listen, Father Tony, thank you, buddy. Barry D, thank you, man. Good show, you guys. All right. Take care, buddy.
Hey, yo. Put your hands together for Old Men in Sweat. Old Men Sweat. Put your hands together, y'all. Barry D, Tommy T. We're going to have a good time tonight. Let's go. It's Old Men in Sweat.